If you're just getting started with vegan baking, this video is for you. So keep watching and make sure you give this video a like, because today I'm going to be sharing 6 recipes that I think any beginner vegan baker should start by making. So let's face it, when you're just getting started with vegan baking, it can be a bit challenging at first. It can be a little rough. You're still not sure what you're doing. You're kind of like Bambi, just trying to get your steps in. It's a little clumsy. You're still trying to get a hold of things. And that's okay. So you really need recipes that are gonna set you up for success, that are gonna be easy to make, that have few ingredients, that are gonna taste delicious, and that are pretty much guaranteed that they will work. So with that in mind, I'm gonna give you 6 recipes that I think will really set you up for success and get you started with vegan baking on the right foot. Are you ready? Let's do this. Before we get started, let me just say hi, welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, I'm Natalia Lima, founder and owner of Curious Cat Bakery, an all-vegan bakery based out of Florida, where the only rule is that everything needs to taste just as good or better than the real deal. Another important note if you're new around here, I was in your shoes once. I'm completely self-taught as a vegan baker, and I didn't know how to even boil water. Seriously, I didn't know how to do anything, and now I'm an award-winning vegan baker. So if I can do it, you can do it too. And this is the place where I share my vegan baking tips, hacks, recipes. So if that's something you're into, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, because I have videos here every single week with all those things you don't want to miss out. I also have a free vegan guide to successful vegan baking. You can download that for free. It's on the comments below and in the description. You just click, put in your email, it gets delivered straight to your inbox. Oh, and just one more thing, because I don't want your hate in the comments and I don't want to waste your time. I'm actually giving you suggestions of recipes. I'm not going to give you the actual recipes. There are plenty of places you can find them. But if you stick around, I actually will tell you where you can find these recipes that are approved by me and I know will work. And also, if you stick around to the end, I have a free recipe and a little treat for you. So without further ado, let's get to the 6 basic vegan recipes that I think any baker can get started with. So the first vegan baking recipe I recommend to anyone just getting started is a vegan chocolate chip cookie. It doesn't get any easier than a cookie because you don't need any equipment. You're not going to need a KitchenAid or anything like that. Ingredients are everything you're already familiar with. They're easy to find and it's not a long list of ingredients. And third, it's pretty fast. A cookie doesn't bake in the oven for more than 8 to 12 minutes. When you're just getting started, you're not really in the mood to spend 4 hours in the kitchen. So this is minimum cleanup, minimum work. You know, you get to the part of actually enjoying the cookie faster. So highly recommend a chocolate chip cookie. Plus, who doesn't love a chocolate chip cookie? Okay, now here's good news. So I actually have the recipe for what has been called the best vegan chocolate chip cookies ever. You can talk to my customers about it. But so I'm giving you that recipe for free. You can download it. I'll put the link in the description below. You just follow the link, put in your email address. It gets delivered straight to your inbox. It's a great beginner recipe and it will get you started on the right foot. The second recipe that I recommend to anyone just getting started with vegan baking is a banana bread. So most people think when they get started, they will make a simple cake, like a vanilla cake or chocolate cake. That's okay, but when you make a cake, now you're gonna need a frosting for the cake. So now you added another element. And if you have a filling, now you're gonna need filling and you're gonna need to stack the cake. So these are all different elements and skills that you just added to your to-do list. It just got complicated. If you do banana bread, however, you still get that cakey feel to it. I mean, a banana bread, it's cake, it's breakfast, it's a snack. It checks all the boxes, really. Everyone has a banana that they forgot to eat in the kitchen, just waiting to be turned into banana bread. It's fairly easy to do. Again, minimum equipment. All you need really is a bowl, a whisk. This will get you started with the idea of a cake. It will set you up for success so you can take on a more complicated cake down the road. If you're really, really dead set on making a cake, I suggest you go with a box cake. I know that's gonna sound like cheating, and maybe it is, okay? But when you're just getting started, you need those wins. You really need to count that you did something, You checked that box, you accomplished it, you ate it, it tasted good. So I think a box cake is a great way to get started. I actually have this video over here that shows you how to make a box cake completely vegan without the eggs that usually the box requires. And also I have this other video over here with 3 frosting ideas that are pretty easy. 2 of them don't require any equipment and really can be done in like 5 minutes. So these 2 will really get you started on the right foot. Even though it's a little bit of cheating, that's fine. Making a box cake and the frosting for it will make you feel like you're a baker because you actually accomplished the task from point A to point B. You baked it, you ate it, it was delicious. Now you can move on to making a real cake that doesn't come from a box because you kind of like learn the steps. You know you can do the box cake, so now you're gonna move on to the next step. Make sense? My 4th beginner vegan baking recipe is waffles. I mean, if you've ever been in a Holiday Inn or any other kind of cheap hotel where they had the waffles in the lobby, you can figure out how to make vegan waffles. They're very similar to the original recipe, and you're gonna get that taste of baking because you actually have to prepare the batter, but it literally is just mixing ingredients, whisking it, and then using the waffle maker. You don't need an oven, you don't need to season a pan, so you're eliminating all those extra steps, and it's gonna be easy, but you're gonna taste delicious. Also for toppings, you can just use syrup or fresh fruit. If you wanna get fancy, you can make ganache, but that's an extra step you don't really need to do. So it's a very easy beginner step towards baking, and man, these things taste so good. Let me tell you, it's an excellent thing to bake in the morning. People are gonna be very impressed by it. 5th beginner vegan baking recipe is a muffin. So people always wanna do cupcakes. Cupcakes are flashy and they seem easy enough, right? It's just a little bit of a cake with some frosting on top. Seems easy, however, if you're just beginning, not only do you have to make that little cake and you have to make sure you get the measurement right so it doesn't like spill over the top and then it doesn't look great, but now you have to make the frosting, which will require a KitchenAid. And actually, make sure you subscribe to the channel because in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna show you how you can make buttercream without a KitchenAid. Let's just say it requires a lot of arm strength. Not something you're really going to want to do when you're just getting started though. Not only are you gonna deal with the frosting, but if you have a filling for it, you're gonna have to deal with the technique of, cutting the hole so you can put the filling inside of the cupcake. And then finally, you have to pipe that frosting onto the cupcake, which requires some skill. One cupcake all of a sudden turned into a whole ordeal. Much easier is to do a muffin. Muffins are delicious and they're breakfast food and they are really, really good. And if you do them well, they'll come out soft and yummy, very good. They're a great beginner recipe and I highly recommend it. Now, the 6th recipe does come with a caveat. So I will say brownies are a great beginner recipe if you use my recipe. I will say that brownies are pretty easy to make. If you have the right recipe, it really takes 30 minutes from beginning to when they're actually out of the oven. It's super quick to make. You only require 1 pan. They're very easy in the process of making them. However, for vegan brownies, you need the right recipe. And I've talked about it here on the channel, how it took me 10 years to find that good recipe. I've tried and made a whole lot of very crappy brownies in my day. You only want to get started with this one if it's my recipe. But here's the good news. I actually have it in my ebook, Vegan Baking 101, that has another 14 recipes that are great for beginners, including all of the recipes that I mentioned in this video. The chocolate chip cookies, the muffins, the brownies, the waffles, and the banana bread. They're in there along with many others that are great for somebody who's just getting started and for you who's a beginner baker. And since you stayed around to the end of this video, as a way to say thank you, you can get $5 off that ebook. Just use code YouTube when you're checking out, and that will be automatically applied. I'll put the link in the description below. Oh, and please make sure you tag me at Curious Cat Bakery in all of your creations on Instagram. I am dying to see what you come up with. I'm sure they're gonna be absolutely beautiful and delicious. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys here next time. Until then, you might want to check out this playlist that has a ton of videos for the beginner vegan baker just like you. I will see you next time. Until then, stay curious.